Hare Krishna, everybody. Will now chant Prema Dvani prayers. We do this after the end of each Harati. And we bow down, usually head touching the floor as we're offering obeisances to the Lord and His various expansions and servants. And whenever I say the word ki, everyone has to say, or Jai, yes. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Sata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanara Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Sata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Haribol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories unto the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So during this Purushottama month, this special Arika Mash, during which one can get 16 times the benefit of one's spiritual practice, we're singing this Charashtakam every day, which is a wonderful song by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. It's not going to be on the screen, I don't think, but we are fortunate in that we still, in this day and age, have paper. Yay, A4. So we're going to pass this around. Yes, this is a wonderful song written by Srila Bilva Mangala Thakur, a great Vaishnava saint. And this is glorifying Krishna, who is famous as a thief, a transcendental thief. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatire Shatarine. Just before we sing this song, you'll see on the screens there is another song. Yes, these are prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. If you're not sure who that is, there's a nice portrait of Lord Nrsimhadev at the front left of the temple room, as you're facing the deities. When Krishna wants to display his great ferocity and anger to protect his own devotees, then he appears in this wonderful half-man, half-lion incarnation. So we're going to chant this song first, and then we'll sing the Charashtakam. Okay. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada lada daine. Pralada lada daine. Hiranyakashipo vaksha. Shilatanka nakalaye. Ito nirsimha parato nirsimo. Jato yato yamitato nirsimha. Bahir nirsimho hridaye nirsimho. Bahir nirsimho hridaye nirsimho. Narasimha madim sharanam prapadye. Tavakara kamalavareenakam adbhuta shringam dalita hiranyakashipu tanubringam keshavarita narahari rupa jai jagadisha hari. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Kamalavarena. Keshavarita. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada lada daine. Hiranyakashipo vaksha. Shilatanka nakalaye. Jai Bhaktivedanta Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. Bhakta Shrestha Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So can you all see this Charashtakam song? Yeah, you all have a copy, or you're able to at least look at a copy of this wonderful Sanskrit song? We don't have it on the screens, so you have to refer to your paper. I hope you can follow along with the melody. I'm just going to play kartals in this, but we have a little tempura for harmony. Let's read the first verse translation first, and then we'll sing the song. For my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves who is famous in Vraja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. Vraje prasidam navanita chauram gopangananam cha dukula chauram. Vraje prasidam navanita chauram gopangananam cha dukula. Vraje prasidam navanita chauram gopangananam chadukula chauram. Vraje prasidam navanita chauram gopangananam chadukula chauram. Aneka janma jita papa chauram. Aneka janma jita papa chauram. Chauragraganyam purusham namami. Chauragraganyam purusham namami. Chauragraganyam purusham namami. Shri Radhikaya hridayasya chauram navam buddha shamalakanti chauram. Shri Radhikaya hridayasya chauram navam buddha shamalakanti chauram. Padashritanam chasamasta chauram. Padashritanam chasamasta chauram. Chauranga ganyam purusham namami. Chauragra ganyam purusham namami. Akinchani kritya padashritam ya karoti bhikshum pati gehahinam. Akinchani kritya padashritam ya karoti bhikshum pati gehahinam. Kenapyaho bhishana chauraidek. Kenapyaho bhishana chauraidek. Dushta shutova na jagat trayepi. Dushta shutova na jagat trayepi. Yadiya nama piharatya shesham. Yadiya mama piharatya shesham. Giri prasaran api paparashin. Giri prasaran api paparashin. Ascharya rupo nanu chauraidek. Ascharya rupo nanu chauraidek. Dushta shrutova namaya kadapi. Dushta shrutova namaya kadapi. Dhanam chamanam chatatendriyani. Dhanam chamanam chatatendriyani. Pranam shahritva mama sarvameva. Pranam shahritva mama sarvameva. Palayase kutra tritodya chaura. Palayase kutra dritodyacha. Palayase kutra dritodyachaura. Palayase kutra dritodyachaura. Tvam bhakti dhamna simaya niruddha. Tvam bhakti dhamna simaya niruddha. Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham. Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham. Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham. Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham. Bhinatsi bhimam bhavapasha bandham. Bhinatsi bhimam bhavapasha bandham. Chinatsi sarvasya samasta bandham. Chinatsi sarvasya samasta bandham. Naivatmano bhakta kritam tu bandham. Naivatmano bhakta man manase tamasarashi gore. Man manase tamasarashi gore. Karagrihe dukkha maye nibadha. Karagrihe dukkha maye nibadha. Labhasva he chaura hare chiraya. Labhasva he chaura hare chiraya. Svachaurya dosho chitameva dandam. Svachaurya dosho chitameva dandam. Karagrihe vasasada hridaye madiye. Karagrihe vasasada hridaye madiye. Mad bhakti pasha drita bandhana nishchalasan. Mad bhakti pasha drita bandhana nishchalasan. Tvam Krishna he pralaya kotisha tantarepi. Tvam Krishna pralaya kotisha tantarepi. Sarvasva chaura hridayan nahi mochayami. 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 Vraje prasidam navanita chauram. Vraje prasidam navanita chauram. Gopangananam chadukula chauram. Gopangananam dukula chauram. Aneka janmarjita papa chauram. Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami. Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami. Vraje Prasidam Navanita Chauram. Gopangananam Chadukula Chauram. Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram. Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram. Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami. Let's read the translation. Is anyone keen to read the translation for me? Yeah, come forward if you are. Otherwise, I'll just go for it. Yeah? Oh, no, she's going on. Okay. I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in Vraja as the butter thief, and who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggars. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds. Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins. Such an astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible noose of Yamaraj, you sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage, but you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there, for a very long time, you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for millions of eons. Srila Bilvamangala Thakur ki jai. Thank you so much, everybody. So we're going to be singing this song every day for the next month. Please come as often as possible, and you'll have an opportunity to offer lamps between 4:30 and 6:15. We will have Bhagavad Gita class as usual at 6 p.m., but focused on the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is entitled Purushottama Yoga. So this is Purushottam month, and our reciting of Bhagavad Gita will be from the 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. And from now until about 6 o'clock, we're going to continue with our reading of Krishna, this book that Srila Prabhupada gave to us, simply entitled Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What better thing is there to do during this most auspicious of months than to hear all about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His transcendental activities. So, let's resume where we left off. If anyone's hungry, there should be some prasadam being served in the Haveli. Yeah, you go down the steps into the courtyard, and on the right-hand side, there is a room there where the prasadam is being served. So let's see where we got up to. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Yes, this is chapter. It's not coming up for me. This is, I think, chapter 51. Rukmini Devi and Lord Krishna are hopefully about to be married. Yes, Rukmini Devi sent a message through a very faithful Brahmana to the Lord because she wanted Krishna to come and rescue her. Although everyone, including her father, wanted Rukmini to marry Krishna, her brother Rukmini arranged for her marriage to Shishupal. Of course, Rukmini was very much distressed at this arrangement, and she wrote to Krishna to come and take her away, to marry her by the Rakshasa rite. In the Rakshasa marriage rite, a chivalrous prince, yes, or personality, will come and steal the bride and fight with others who may wish to win her for themselves. So she told Krishna that he could take advantage of the opportunity either when she was going to the temple to perform some worship of Goddess Durga, or when she was coming out of the temple. And in this way, Krishna could steal her away at that time and thus avoid any unnecessary killing. So Srila Prabhupada continues here. He says, all the princes and visitors who came to Kundina for the marriage were assembled outside the temple to see Rukmini. The princes were especially very eager to see her because they all actually thought that they would have Rukmini as their wife. Struck with wonder upon seeing Rukmini, they thought that she was specially manufactured by the Creator to bewilder all the great chivalrous princes. Her body was well constructed, the middle portion being thin. She had green eyes, pink lips, and a beautiful face, which was enhanced by her scattered hair and by different kinds of earrings. Around her feet she wore jeweled lockets. The bodily luster and beauty of Rukmini appeared as if painted by an artist perfectly presenting beauty following the description of great poets. The breast of Rukmini is described as being a little bit high, indicating that she was just a youth, not more than 13 or 14 years old. Her beauty was specifically intended to attract the attention of Krishna. Although the princes gazed upon her beautiful features, she was not at all proud. Her eyes moved restlessly, and when she smiled very simply, like an innocent girl, her teeth appeared just like lotus flowers. Expecting Krishna to take her away at any moment, she proceeded very slowly towards her home. Her legs moved just like a full-grown swan, and her ankle bells tinkled very mildly. If anyone has any reflections, thoughts, or questions as we're reading, don't be shy. Yeah? Raise your hand or give me a holler. This is not a formal class. We are simply hearing from Srila Prabhupada, and we're happy to discuss anything that is that you find very significant as we're hearing. As already explained, the great chivalrous princes who assembled there were so overwhelmed by Rukmini's beauty that they almost became unconscious. Full of lust, they hopelessly desired Rukmini's hand, comparing their own beauty with hers. Srimati Rukmini, however, was not interested in any of them. In her heart, she was simply expecting Krishna to come and carry her away. As she was adjusting the ornaments on her left hand finger, she happened to look upon the princes and suddenly saw that Krishna was present amongst them. Although Rukmini had never before seen Krishna, she was always thinking of him. Thus, she had no difficulty in recognizing him amongst the princely order. Krishna, not being concerned with the other princes, immediately took the opportunity of placing Rukmini on his chariot, marked by a flag bearing an image of Garuda. He then proceeded slowly, without fear, taking away Rukmini exactly as the lion takes the deer from the midst of the jackals. Meanwhile, Balaram appeared on the scene with the soldiers of the Yadu dynasty. Jarasandha, who had many times experienced defeat by Krishna, began to roar. How is this? Krishna is taking Rukmini away from us without any opposition. What is the use in our being chivalrous fighters with arrows? My dear princes, just look. We are losing our reputation by this action. It is just like the jackal taking away the booty from the lion. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 52nd chapter of Krishna. Krishna kidnaps Rukmini. So it's interesting that the Lord is compared to the lion taking away the booty from a band of jackals. But this Jarasandha, he is calling Krishna the jackal because of his envy, and he thinks that he's the lion. Okay. Chapter 53. Krishna defeats all the princes and takes Rukmini home to Dwarka. All the princes led by Jarasandha became very angry at Krishna's kidnapping Rukmini. Struck by the beauty of Rukmini, they had fallen from the backs of their horses and elephants. But now they began to stand up and properly arm themselves. All right, we can just imagine how beautiful Rukmini must have been that these princes fell off the backs of their horses and elephants, being struck by her beauty. Stricken by her beauty, huh? But now they began to stand up and properly arm themselves. Picking up their bows and arrows, they began to chase Krishna on their chariots, horses, and elephants. To check their progress, the soldiers of the Yadu dynasty turned and faced them. Thus, terrible fighting between the two belligerent groups began. The princes opposing Krishna were led by Jarasandha, and they were all very expert in fighting. They began to shoot their arrows at the soldiers of Yadu, just as a cloud splashes the face of a mountain with torrents of rain. Gathered on the face of a mountain, a cloud does not move very much, and therefore the force of rain is much more severe on a mountain than it is anywhere else. So all of Jarasandha's troops, they were shooting their arrows at Krishna's Yadu soldiers with great severity, just like this cloud on a mountain. The opposing princes were determined to defeat Krishna and recapture Rukmini from his custody, and they fought with him as severely as possible. Rukmini, seated by the side of Krishna, saw arrows raining from the opposing party onto the faces of the soldiers of Yadu. I'm going to read that sentence again. Rukmini, seated by the side of Krishna, saw arrows raining from the opposing party onto the faces of the soldiers of Yadu. In a fearful attitude, she began to look on the face of Krishna, expressing her gratefulness that he had taken such a great risk for her sake only. Her eyes moving, she appeared to be very sorry, and Krishna could immediately understand her mind. He encouraged her with these words, "My dear Rukmini, don't worry. Please rest assured that the soldiers of the Yadu dynasty will kill all the opposing soldiers without delay." As Krishna was speaking with Rukmini, the commanders of the Yadu dynasty soldiers, headed by Lord Balaram, who is also known as Sankarsana, as well as by Gadadhara, not tolerating the defiant attitude of the opposing soldiers, began to strike their horses, elephants, and chariots with arrows. As the fighting progressed, the princes and soldiers of the enemy camp began to fall from their horses, elephants, and chariots. Within a very short time, it was seen that millions of severed heads, decorated with helmets and earrings, had fallen on the battlefield. The soldiers' hands were cut up along with their bows and arrows and clubs. One head was piled upon another, and one horse was piled upon another. All the infantry soldiers, as well as their camels, elephants, and asses, fell down with severed heads. When the enemy, headed by Jarasandha, found that they were gradually being defeated by the soldiers of Krishna, they thought it unwise to risk losing in the battle for the sake of Shishupal. Shishupal himself should have fought to rescue Rukmini from the hands of Krishna. But when the soldiers saw that Shishupal was not competent enough to fight with Krishna, they decided not to lose their strength unnecessarily. Therefore, they ceased fighting and dispersed. Some of the princes, as a matter of etiquette, appeared before Shishupal. They saw that Shishupal was very much discouraged, like one who has lost his wife. His face appeared to be dried up. He had lost all his energy, and all the luster of his body had disappeared. They began to address Shishupal thus, "My dear Shishupal, don't be discouraged in this way. You belong to the royal order and are the chief amongst the fighters. There is no question of distress or happiness for a person like you, because neither of these conditions is everlasting. Take courage. Don't be disappointed by this temporary reverse. After all, we are not the final actor. As puppets dance in the hands of a magician, we are all dancing by the will of the Supreme. And according to His grace only, we suffer distress or enjoy happiness, which therefore balance equally in all circumstances." Srila Prabhupada continues, "The whole catastrophe of the defeat was due to the envious nature of Rukmini's elder brother, Rukmi. Having seen his sister forcibly taken away by Krishna after he had planned to marry her with Shishupal, Rukmi was frustrated. So he and Shishupal, his friend and intended brother-in-law, returned to their respective homes. Rukmi, very much agitated, was determined to personally teach Krishna a lesson. He called for his own soldiers, a military phalanx consisting of several thousand elephants, horses, and chariots and infantry. And equipped with this military strength, he began to follow Krishna to Dwarka. In order to show his prestige, Rukmi began to promise before all the returning kings, "You could not help Shishupal marry my sister Rukmini, but I cannot allow Rukmini to be taken away by Krishna. I shall teach him a lesson. Now I am going there." He presented himself as a big commander and vowed before all the princes present, "Unless I kill Krishna in the fight and bring back my sister from his clutches, I shall no more return to my capital city, Kundina. I make this vow before you all, and you will see that I shall fulfill it." After thus vibrating all these boasting words, Rukmi immediately got on his chariot and told his chariot driver to pursue Krishna. He said, "I want to fight with him immediately. This coward boy has become very proud because of his tricky way of fighting with the Kshatriyas. But today I shall teach him a good lesson. Because he has the impudency to kidnap my sister, I, with my sharpened arrows, shall teach him very good lessons indeed." Thus, this unintelligent man, Rukmi, ignorant of the extent of the strength and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, began to voice impudent threats. In great stupidity, he soon stood before Krishna, telling him repeatedly, "Stop for a minute and fight with me." After saying this, he drew his bow and directly shot 3 forceful arrows against Krishna's body. Then he condemned Krishna as the most abominable descendant of the Yadu dynasty and asked him to stand before him for a minute so that he could teach him a good lesson. "You are carrying away my sister just like a crow stealing clarified butter meant for use in a sacrifice. You are simply proud of your military strength, but you cannot fight according to regulative principles. You have stolen my sister. Now I shall relieve you of your false prestige. You can keep my sister under your possession only as long as I do not pinion you to the ground for good with my arrows." Lord Krishna, after hearing all these crazy words from Rukmi, immediately shot an arrow and severed the string of Rukmi's bow, making him unable to use another arrow. Rukmi immediately took another bow and shot another 5 arrows at Krishna. Being attacked for the second time by Rukmi, Krishna again severed his bowstring. Rukmi took a third bow, and Krishna again cut off its string. This time, in order to teach Rukmi a lesson, Krishna personally shot 6 arrows at him, and then he shot another 8 arrows. Thus, 4 horses were killed by 4 arrows. The chariot driver was killed by another arrow, and the upper portion of Rukmi's chariot, including the flag, was chopped off with the remaining 3 arrows. Having run out of arrows, Rukmi took the assistance of swords, shields, tridents, lances, and similar other weapons used for fighting hand to hand. But Krishna immediately severed them all in the same way. Being repeatedly baffled in his attempts, Rukmi simply took his sword and ran very swiftly toward Krishna, just as a fly proceeds toward a fire. As soon as Rukmi reached Krishna, Krishna cut his weapon to pieces. This time, Krishna took out his sharp sword and was about to kill him immediately, but Rukmi's sister Rukmini, understanding that this time Krishna would not excuse her brother, fell down at the lotus feet of Krishna and in a very grievous tone, trembling with great fear, began to plead with her husband. Rukmini first addressed Krishna as Yogeshvara. Yogeshvara means one who is possessed of inconceivable opulence and energy. Krishna possesses inconceivable opulence and energy, whereas Rukmini's brother had only limited military potency. Krishna is immeasurable, whereas her brother was measured in every step of his life. Therefore, Rukmi was not even comparable to an insignificant insect before the unlimited power of Krishna. She also addressed Krishna as the God of the gods. There are many powerful demigods such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, and Chandra. It's a little hard to compete Haribol. Hare Krishna. No, they're not getting it. Haribol. Hello. Hare Krishna. Haribol. Sorry, can we just keep it down a little bit? It's a little difficult to focus, and if anyone else is listening, they might get disturbed as well. Thank you. There are many powerful demigods, such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, and Chandra. Krishna is the Lord of all these gods, whereas Rukmini's brother was not only an ordinary human being, but was, in fact, the lowest of all, because he had no understanding of Krishna. In other words, a human being who has no conception of the actual position of Krishna is the lowest in human society. Rukmini also addressed Krishna as Jagatpati, the master of the whole cosmic manifestation. In comparison, her brother was only an ordinary prince. In this way, Rukmini compared the position of Rukmi to that of Krishna, and very feelingly pleaded with her husband not to kill her brother just before the auspicious time of her being united with Krishna, but to excuse him. In other words, she displayed her real position as a woman. She was happy to get Krishna as her husband just at the moment when her marriage to another was to be performed. But she did not want it to be at the loss of her elder brother, who, after all, loved his young sister and wanted to hand her over to one who was, according to his calculations, a better man. While Rukmini was praying to Krishna for the life of her brother, her whole body trembled, and because of her anxiety, her face appeared to be dried up, her throat became choked, and, due to her trembling, the ornaments on her body loosened and fell scattered on the ground. Lord Krishna immediately became compassionate and agreed not to kill the foolish Rukmi. But at the same time, he wanted to give him some light punishment. So he tied him up with a piece of cloth and snipped at his mustache, beard, and hair, keeping some spots here and there. Who else had this done to him? Anybody knows? From Srimad Bhagavatam? There was another personality whom Krishna, or rather Arjuna, captured. And rather than kill him, he was punished in this way by humiliation, insult. Ashvatthama, right? Yeah. While Krishna was dealing with Rukmi in this way, the soldiers of the Yadu dynasty, commanded by Balaram himself, broke the whole strength of Rukmi's army, just as an elephant in a tank discards the feeble stem of a lotus flower. Just as an elephant in a tank discards the feeble stem of a lotus flower. Right? So in this way, the soldiers of the Yadu dynasty, led by Lord Balaram, dealt with all of Rukmi's army. In other words, as an elephant breaks the whole construction of a lotus flower while bathing in a reservoir of water, so the military strength of the Yadus broke up Rukmi's forces. Yet, when the commanders of the Yadu dynasty came back to see Krishna, they were all surprised to see the condition of Rukmi. Lord Balaram became especially compassionate for his sister-in-law, who was newly married to his brother. In order to please Rukmini, Balaram personally untied Rukmi. And in order to further please her, Balaram, as the elder brother of Krishna, spoke some words of chastisement. "Krishna, your action is not at all satisfactory," he said. "This is an abomination very much contrary to our family tradition. To cut someone's hair and shave his mustache and beard is almost comparable to killing him. Whatever Rukmi might have been, he is now our brother-in-law, a relative of our family, and you should not have put him in such a condition." Very interesting that Balaram took this position. He accepted Rukmi as now relative, brother-in-law. After this, in order to pacify her, Lord Balaram said to Rukmini, "You should not be sorry because your brother has been made very odd-looking. Everyone suffers or enjoys the results of his own actions." Srila Prabhupada writes, Lord Balaram wanted to impress upon Rukmini that she should not have been sorry for the consequences suffered by her brother due to his actions. There was no need of being too affectionate towards such a brother. Lord Balaram again turned toward Krishna and said, "My dear Krishna, a relative, even though he commits such a blunder and deserves to be killed, should be excused. For when such a relative is conscious of his own fault, that consciousness itself is like death. Therefore, there is no need in killing him." He again turned toward Rukmini and informed her that the current duty of the Kshatriya in the human society is so fixed that, according to the principle of fighting, one's own brother may become an enemy on the opposite side. A Kshatriya does not hesitate to kill his own brother. In other words, Lord Balaram wanted to instruct Rukmini that Rukmi and Krishna were right in not showing mercy to each other in the fighting, despite the family consideration that they happened to be brothers-in-law. Sri Balaram continued to inform Rukmini that Kshatriyas are typical emblems of the materialistic way of life. They become puffed up whenever there is a question of material acquisition. Therefore, when there is a fight between two belligerent Kshatriyas on account of kingdom, land, wealth, women, prestige, or power, they try to put one another into the most abominable condition. Balaram instructed Rukmini that her affection toward her brother Rukmi, who had created enmity with so many persons, was a perverse consideration befitting an ordinary materialistic person. Her brother's character was not at all adorable, considering his treatment toward other friends. And yet Rukmini, as an ordinary woman, was so affectionate toward him. He was not fit to be her brother, and still Rukmini was lenient toward him. Besides that, Balaram continued, the consideration that a person is neutral or is one's friend or enemy is generally made by persons who are in the bodily concept of life. So when we're very much identifying with this body, right? I am this body, these are my relatives, these are my kin, this is the land of my birth, it is very special, worshipable. Yeah, we must stand up for it against all other state interests. Other states and their interests, in other words. This is a bodily concept of life. And in this bodily concept, one sees others as either neutrals, friends, or enemies. But on the platform of the soul, there is no friends and enemies. We are all children of the same Supreme Person, Lord Sri Krishna. So, friends and enemies. Such foolish persons become bewildered by the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. The spirit soul is of the same pure quality in any embodiment of matter. But those who are not sufficiently intelligent see only the bodily differentiations of animals and man, literates and illiterates, rich and poor, and so on, which cover the pure spirit soul. Right, so without spiritual intelligence, all we see are bodies, and we only notice the particular distinguishing characteristics of different bodies. And we're not seeing that there is a soul of equal value in every body. So, seeing animals and man, literates and illiterates, rich and poor, such differentiation observed purely on the basis of the body is exactly like differentiation between fires in terms of the different types of fuel they consume. Whatever the size and shape of the fuel, there is no such variety of size and shape of the fire which comes out. Similarly, in the sky, there are no differences in size or shape. A nice example Lord Balaram gives. The fire that comes out from any form of wood is equally fire, although the fuel may be of different nature. So the soul is the same in everyone. It is spirit spark, even though the bodies may appear very different. In this way, Balaram appeased them by his moral and ethical instruction. He stated further, this body is part of the material manifestation. The living entity or spirit soul, being in contact with matter, is transmigrating due to illusory enjoyment. Transmigrating due to illusory enjoyment from one body to another, and that is known as material existence. This contact of the living entity with the material manifestation has neither integration nor disintegration. My dear chaste sister-in-law, the spirit soul is, of course, the cause of this material body, as much as the sun is the cause of sunlight, eyesight, and the forms of material manifestation. So Lord Balaram is saying here that the sun causes sunlight, eyesight, and the forms of material manifestation. Right? It is because of the sun that these things are affected. Sunlight, eyesight, different forms of material manifestation. And in the same way, the spirit soul is the cause of the material body. Without the spirit soul, what is the value of any material body? As soon as the spirit soul leaves the body, then who cares for such a dead body? Yes, Maria.
You just mentioned in the previous about the stem of the lotus flower.
Yeah. Stem.
It uses that a lot, doesn't it? As an analogy.
The stem of the lotus flower.
How you can get entangled up and he used it here as well. So
Yes. Yeah. It's very poetic.
like a swan entangled, like going through the stem of the lotus flower.
Yeah. It can be used positively, and in this case, as we heard, it was used not negatively, but the point being that in a tank of water, in a reservoir or a pond, an elephant will easily destroy whatever lotus stem is existing there. But the same example of a lotus stem can be used. King Kulashekara uses this example. May my mind be absorbed, caught up in the lotus stem network of your lotus feet. Krishna's lotus feet, he describes are like a network of lotus stems, and may my mind be, trapped there. That's the best place to have the mind trapped. In thought of Krishna and his activities. It's very poetic. The lotus flower is used in many cases to help us understand. Every morning we sing Guru Puja and we compare the feet of the spiritual master to the lotus flower, because it gives a special kind of honey, Padma Madhu, and it gives shelter to the bumblebee who is seeking nectar. In this way, Balaram appeased them by his moral and ethical instruction. He stated further, this body is part of the material manifestation. The living entity or spirit soul, being in contact with matter, is transmigrating due to illusory enjoyment from one body to another, and that is known as material existence. This contact of the living entity with the material manifestation has neither integration nor disintegration. Right? The spirit and matter don't mix. Oil and water do not mix, neither do spirit and matter. Rather, we mistakenly identify with this material energy, although we have really nothing to do with it. I'm not this body, I am spirit soul. This body is merely a machine, a material machine, like a vehicle. And death simply means stepping out of this vehicle and abandoning it. That is all. When it becomes useless, kaput, it's time to leave. And then I get another machine, dependent on my behavior, dependent on what I deserve. So Lord Balaram continues here. The example of the sunshine and the material manifestation is very appropriate in the matter of understanding the living entity's contact with this material world. In the morning, there is sunrise, and the heat and light expand gradually throughout the whole day. The sun is the cause of all material production and shapes and forms. It is due to the sun that integration and disintegration of material elements take place. But as soon as the sun is set, the whole manifestation is no longer connected to the sun, which has passed from one place to another. When the sun passes from the eastern to the western hemisphere, the result of interaction due to the sunshine in the eastern hemisphere remains. But the sunshine itself is visible again on the western hemisphere. Similarly, the living entity accepts or produces different bodies and different bodily relationships in a particular circumstance. But as soon as he gives up the present body and accepts another, he has nothing to do with the former body, right? The sun is moving. And as long as the sun is in the sky in our place, we have a relationship with it and we get on with our activities because the sun is allowing us to see the objects with which we must interact. And the sun then traverses into the other section of the sky, and it becomes visible in some other place, but not visible in our place at nighttime. And during that nighttime, there is no connection between the sun and our place. In the same way, as soon as we give up the present body and we accept another body, then there is no more connection. We have nothing to do with the former body. Like, who remembers their previous body? I mean, some people might, especially if you have a little help from someone who is able to regress you. But generally speaking, who remembers what kind of body we had? And actually, in our previous life, it's not just that we had one body. We went through a whole phase of bodies. Childhood, youth, maturity, old age. They weren't just the same body. Just as in this life, we don't have one body. We are constantly moving through shifts in body. But the shifts are very tiny, you could say. And you only notice the great shift after so many years. A photograph of yourself from one day to the next, you won't notice much difference. From 1 week to the next, not much difference. 1 month to the next, not much difference. Even 1 year to the next, not much difference. But 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, it's a completely different body. Imperceptibly changing as we get older. Where is my previous body? What did it look like? Was I happy with it? Who knows? we have nothing to do with that body anymore. So Lord Balaram says here, similarly, the living entity has nothing to do with the next body which he accepts. He is always free from the contact of this bodily contamination. Therefore, the conclusion is that the appearance and disappearance of the body have nothing to do with the living entity, as much as the waxing and waning of the moon have nothing to do with the moon. When there is waxing of the moon, we falsely think that the moon is developing. And when there is waning of the moon, we think that the moon is decreasing. Factually, who thinks this? The moon is going away now, or the moon is growing now. Factually, the moon, as it is always the same. It has nothing to do with such visible waxing and waning activities. Right, so the bodies are coming and going. We're taking birth, we're growing old, we're dying. We're getting a new body, simply changing bodies all the time. Changing bodies all the time. But the soul has nothing to do with all these changes of body. Lord Balaram continues here. Any thoughts? Any questions? Lord Balaram says, consciousness of material existence can be compared to sleeping and dreaming. When a man sleeps, he dreams of many non-factual happenings. And as a result of dreaming, he becomes subjected to different kinds of distress and happiness. Similarly, when a person is in the dreaming condition of material consciousness, he suffers the effects of accepting a body and giving it up again in material existence. Opposite to this material consciousness is Krishna consciousness. In other words, when a man is elevated to the platform of Krishna consciousness, he becomes free from this false conception of life. Srila Prabhupada was once having a conversation with one young man. I don't exactly remember the date and the place or the person, but he was impressing upon this young man that our wakeful condition is just another dream. At night we go to sleep, we have a dream, and in the morning when we wake up, we forget all about our night dream. We may remember that we dreamed, and we might even remember, I dreamed about this or about that. But that dream has no significance now. We say, it was just a dream. During the dream, while it was actually taking place, we were very much invested in the dream. And we very much believed that it was happening. It's happening to me, this dream. I am flying in the sky, or I'm being chased by a tiger, or I am seeing such and such person, and I am seeing myself in a particular form of body. And we buy into it completely, don't we? During the dream. Has anyone been able, during the dream state, to say, hang on a second, I'm dreaming, aren't I? This is actually a dream. I'm not sure if that is a regular occurrence. I don't know if anyone actually experiences that. Does anyone become conscious that they're actually dreaming during a dream? Sometimes you dream that you've woken up from your dream. I remember before going to school as a kid, and my father would call me to get up, and then I would actually dream that I was getting out of bed, getting washed, getting dressed, and then again he would call me, hey, get up, and I was like, hang on, I thought I was up, I dreamed that I got up. Did you get up? No, you did not wake up. You thought you woke up. So the night dream, we buy into it. And only when we wake up do we realize, oh, that wasn't real. So Srila Prabhupada was telling this person that Just as you have a night dream, you are having a daydream. It is another form of dreaming, this day waking experience. Because how can it be real? How can it be anything but a dream? When at night you forget all about your daydream. During the day you forget all about your night dream, and during the night you forget all about your daydream. And this daydream is like any other dream. It is simply coming and going, ever changing. It does not stay. No aspect of the dream remains. In this way, Sri Balaram instructed them in spiritual knowledge. He addressed his sister-in-law thus: "Sweet, smiling Rukmini, do not be aggrieved by false motives caused by ignorance. Due to false notions only, one becomes unhappy. But this unhappiness is immediately removed by discussing the philosophy of actual life. Be happy on that platform only." This is very instructive for us, isn't it? Because of false notions only, we become unhappy. Identifying with this body and the condition we find ourselves in. But we should know that this is merely a dream. A very vivid dream, certainly, but a dream nonetheless. And Lord Balaram gives the solution here. He says this unhappiness is immediately removed by discussing the philosophy of actual life. And he tells his sister-in-law, be happy on that platform only. So when we hear Bhagavad Gita, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam and all of these wonderful literatures and speeches given to us by Krishna's devotees, we're actually following the method recommended by Lord Balaram for removing unhappiness, because we get to discuss the philosophy of actual life. After hearing such enlightening instruction from Sri Balaram, Rukmini immediately became pacified and happy and adjusted her mental condition, which was very much afflicted by seeing the degraded position of her brother Rukmi. As far as Rukmi was concerned, neither was his promise fulfilled nor his mission successful. He had come from home with his soldiers and military phalanx to defeat Krishna and release his sister. But on the contrary, he lost all his soldiers and military strength. He was personally much degraded, and in that condition he was very sorry. But by the grace of the Lord, he could continue his life to the fixed destination. Because he was a Kshatriya, he could remember his promise that he would not return to his capital city, Kundina, without killing Krishna and releasing his sister, which he had failed to do. Therefore, he decided in anger not to return to his capital city, and he constructed a small cottage in the village known as Bhojakarta and began to reside there for the rest of his life. Right, so he failed in his mission, in his promise. He said he wouldn't return without accomplishing this thing. He couldn't accomplish it. And he did not return to Kundina. After defeating all the opposing elements and forcibly carrying away Rukmini, Krishna brought her to his capital city, Dwarka, and then married her according to the Vedic ritualistic principle. After this marriage, Krishna became the king of the Yadus at Dwarka. On the occasion of his marriage with Rukmini, all the inhabitants were happy, and in every house there were great ceremonies. The inhabitants of Dwarka city became so pleased that they dressed themselves with the nicest possible ornaments and garments. And they went to present gifts according to their means to the newly married couple, Krishna and Rukmini. All the houses of Yadupuri, Dwarka, were decorated with flags, festoons, and flowers. Each and every house had an extra gate specifically prepared for this occasion. And on both sides of the gate there were big water jugs filled with water. The whole city was flavored with by the burning of high quality incense, and at night there was illumination by thousands of lamps, decorating each and every building. The entire city appeared jubilant on the occasion of Lord Krishna's marriage with Rukmini. Everywhere in the city there was profuse decorations of banana trees and betel nut trees. These two trees are considered very auspicious in happy ceremonies. At the same time, there was an assembly of many elephants who carried the respective kings of different friendly kingdoms. It is the habit of the elephant that whenever he sees some small plants and trees, out of his sportive, frivolous nature, he uproots the trees and throws them hither and thither. The elephants assembled on this occasion also scattered the banana and betel nut trees. But in spite of such intoxicated action, the whole city, with the trees thrown here and there, looked very nice. The friendly kings of the Kurus and the Pandavas were represented by Dhritarashtra, the 5 Pandu brothers, King Drupada, King Santardana, as well as Rukmini's father, Bhishmaka. Because of Krishna's kidnapping Rukmini, there was initially some misunderstanding between the two families. But Bhishmaka, king of Vidarbha, being approached by Sri Balaram and persuaded by many saintly persons, was induced to participate in the marriage ceremony of Krishna and Rukmini. Although the incident of Krishna's kidnapping was not a very happy occurrence in the kingdom of Vidarbha, kidnapping was not an unusual affair among the Kshatriyas. Interesting. Although the incident of Krishna's kidnapping was not a very happy occurrence in the kingdom of Vidarbha, I guess they in general didn't like it if their princess was kidnapped. Still, kidnapping was not an unusual affair among the Kshatriyas. Kidnapping was, in fact, current in almost all marriages. Anyway, King Bhishmaka was from the very beginning inclined to hand over his beautiful daughter to Krishna. In one way or another, his purpose had been served. And so he was pleased to join the marriage ceremony, even though his eldest son was degraded in the fight. It is mentioned in the Padma Purana that Maharaj Nanda and the cowherd boys of Vrindavana joined the marriage ceremony. Kings from the kingdoms of Kuru, Srinjaya, Kekaya, Vidarbha, and Kunti came to Dwarka on this occasion with all their royal paraphernalia. The story of Rukmini's being kidnapped by Krishna was poeticized, and the professional readers recited it everywhere. All the assembled kings, and especially their daughters, were struck with wonder and became very pleased upon hearing the chivalrous activities of Krishna. In this way, all visitors, as well as the inhabitants of Dwarka city, became joyful, seeing Krishna and Rukmini together. In other words, the Supreme Lord, the maintainer of everyone, and the goddess of fortune were united, and all the people felt extremely jubilant. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 53rd chapter of Krishna. Krishna defeats all the princes and takes Rukmini home to Dwarka. Any thoughts or questions? Anything? I guess you have to be very bold to attempt to kidnap a bride on her wedding ceremony. Something has been arranged, and you show up there and you forcibly take her away. You have to be very powerful to do that, and very bold. The Kshatriyas, they have such an attitude, such a determination. I don't know that anybody is doing that in this Kali Yuga, kidnapping the bride. And of course, it's not difficult for Krishna. He's the Supreme Lord. I mean, he and Balaram single-handedly decimated the military forces of Jarasandha 17 times at least. It must be nice to have such chivalry that one can accomplish such a great act. Chapter 54, Pradyumna born to Krishna and Rukmini. It is said that Cupid, who is directly part and parcel of Lord Vasudeva, and who was formerly burnt to ashes by the anger of Lord Shiva, took birth in the womb of Rukmini, begotten by Krishna. This is Kamadeva, a demigod of the heavenly planets, especially capable of inducing lusty desires. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, has many grades of parts and parcels, but the quadruple expansions of Krishna, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, are directly in the Vishnu category. Right? So everything comes from the Lord. Eko, Bahu, Syam. Krishna generates everything. Everything is part of Krishna. And he has different categories of energy. But these particular forms of the Lord, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, they are directly Vishnu. They're not Shakti. They're not energy. They are energetic. They are expansions of the Lord. So Pradyumna, he is a Vishnu expansion, and he appeared as Krishna's son. Kama, or the Cupid demigod, who later on took his birth in the womb of Rukmini, was also named Pradyumna, but he cannot be the Pradyumna of the Vishnu category. Right? He cannot be the Pradyumna of the Vishnu category. He belongs to the category of Jiva Tattva. But for special power in the category of demigods, he was a part and parcel of the super prowess of Pradyumna. Let's read that again. Kama, or the Cupid demigod, right, who later on took his birth in the womb of Rukmini, was also named Pradyumna, but he cannot be the Pradyumna of the Vishnu category. He belongs to the category of Jiva Tattva. Right, that means Krishna's marginal energy. But for special power in the category of demigods, he was a part and parcel of the super prowess of Pradyumna. Okay, so Pradyumna, who is of the Vishnu category, right? He is there, and he has his super prowess. And this Kamadev is part and parcel of that super prowess. That is the verdict of the Goswamis. Therefore, When Cupid was burnt into ashes by the anger of Lord Shiva, he merged into the body of Vasudeva, and in order to get his body again, he was begotten by Lord Krishna himself. He was directly released from his body in the womb of Rukmini and was born as the son of Krishna, celebrated by the name Pradyumna. So Cupid was burnt to ashes by Lord Shiva. He merged into the body of Vasudeva, Vishnu, Tattva. And in order to get his body again, right, because it was burnt by Lord Shiva, then he took birth as Pradyumna in the womb of Rukmini. A woman and kidnapped the baby from the maternity home less than 10 days after his birth. The demon took him and threw him directly in the sea. But, as it is said, whoever is protected by Krishna, no one can kill. And whoever is destined to be killed by Krishna, no one can protect. When Pradyumna was thrown into the sea, a big fish immediately swallowed him. Later on, this fish was caught by the net of a fisherman, and the fish was later on sold to the Shambhara demon. In the kitchen of the demon, there was a maidservant whose name was Mayavati. This woman had formerly been the wife of Cupid and had been called Rati. When the fish was presented to the demon Shambhara, it was taken charge of by his cook, who was to make it into a palatable fish preparation. Demons and the Rakshasas are accustomed to eat meat, fish, and similar non-vegetarian foods. Similarly, other demons like Ravana, Kamsa, and Hiranyakashipu, although born of Brahmana and Kshatriya fathers, used to take meat and flesh without discrimination. This practice is still prevalent in India, and those who are meat and fish eaters are generally called demons and Rakshasas. So this Shambhara tried to get rid of Pradyumna, but as we're about to find out tomorrow when we continue this story, he couldn't escape his destiny. He could not get away from Pradyumna. So now we're having Bhagavad Gita class. 15:2.
Hare Krishna. A very warm welcome to you all to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. Every evening we have a discussion on one of the verses of Bhagavad Gita. Today we are supposed to discuss the second verse of the 15th chapter. Before we get into the discussion, let's have some kirtan. We'll sing a song called Jai Radha Madhava. This is something what Srila Prabhupada used to do. So following in his legacy, in his footsteps, we'll also sing for next 5 or 10 minutes. And then we'll get started with Bhagavad Gita. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, text 2. I'll just go through the Sanskrit and the meaning and the commentary by Srila Prabhupada, and then we can get started. Adasya urdhvam prasitastasya shakha guna pravriddha vishaya prabala Adasya mulani anusantatani karmanubandhini manushya loke. Translation: the branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. The description of the banyan tree is further explained here. Its branches spread in all directions. In the lower parts, there are variegated manifestations of living entities, human beings, animals, horses, cows, dogs, cats, etc. These are situated on the lower parts of the branches, whereas on the upper parts are higher forms of living entities, the demigods, Gandharvas, and many other higher species of life. As a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. Sometimes we find that a tract of land is barren for want of sufficient water, and sometimes a tract is very green. Similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionally greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. The twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects. By development of the different modes of nature, we develop different senses, and by the senses, we enjoy different varieties of sense objects. The tips of the branches are the senses, the nose, the ears, eyes, etc., which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. The twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on, the sense objects. The subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions, which are byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. The tendencies towards piety and impiety are considered to develop from these secondary roots, which spread in all directions. The real root is from Brahmaloka, and the other roots are in the human planetary systems. After one enjoys the results of virtuous activities in the upper planetary systems, he comes down to this earth and renews his karma or fruitive activities for promotion. This planet of human beings is considered the field of activities. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Shapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishwapadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. A very warm welcome to you all to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. Before I begin, I seek blessings from all of you that I may be able to speak something relevant in line with the parampara for your divine pleasure and for my own purification. So this chapter 15, is entitled Purushottam Yoga. In English, Srila Prabhupada translates it as the yoga of the Supreme Person. So, Purushottam Yoga, there are different types of yoga. One is Karma Yoga, higher than that is Jnana Yoga, higher than that is Dhyana Yoga, and the topmost is Bhakti Yoga. Karma Yoga means purification of work, Jnana Yoga means purification of knowledge, Dhyana Yoga means purification of meditation, and Bhakti Yoga means purification of love. And Bhakti Yoga, how this yoga is topmost, there are several references of this across many scriptures. For example, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is a book which is considered to be the sequel of Bhagavad Gita. If Bhagavad Gita is like ABC, Srimad Bhagavatam is like graduation. Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken in Naimisharanya by a sage called Suta Goswami to 88,000 sages, headed by somebody by the name Shaunaka Rishi. So they were talking about a king called Parikshit. We all must have heard about Arjun, the dear friend of Krishna, who was on the receiving end of Bhagavad Gita. So Arjun had a son named Abhimanyu, and Abhimanyu, his son was Parikshit. So Parikshit, when he was on the verge of death, he was cursed by a Brahmana to die within 7 days. He reached out to another sage called Shukdev Goswami that, oh, I have only 7 days left, what should be done? So that conversation was recorded as Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Srimad Bhagavatam has 12 cantos. In the 10th canto, there's a very nice verse. Nayam sukhapo bhagavan dehinam gopika sutah jnaninam chatma bhutanam yatha bhakti matamiha. There are different types of yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, etc. But if somebody wants to attain the favor of gopika sutah, gopi means a cowherd girl. The cowherd girl being referred here in this verse is Mother Yashoda. If somebody wants to attain the favor of Sutta of this gopi, the son of this gopi, means Krishna, then what he should do? He should neither take to karma, nor to jnana, nor to dhyana, but he should stick to bhakti yoga. Yatha bhakti matam iha. So yes, this bhakti yoga is the topmost yoga. And Purushottam is also a name of Krishna. Purushottam means the supreme being. Uttam means supreme, and Purusha means human being or living entity. So Krishna is the supreme living entity. Why? Because he is a maintainer, he is a controller of this world, of this universe, of this creation. It is said that just like a fabric is resting upon the horizontal and vertical threads, Naita Chitram Bhagavati Hi Anante Jagadishware Otam Protam Idam Yasmin Tantushva Anga Yathapataha. Otam and Protam. Otam and Protam refer to the horizontal and vertical threads upon which a fabric is resting. If we remove those horizontal and vertical threads, the fabric will lose its existence. There will be no meaning to the fabric. Similarly, this creation is resting upon Krishna. So, yes, and Krishna, he is supreme because he is full of many, many opulences, of which 6 are primary. It is stated, Aishwarasya samagrasya vir yasya yashasah shriyah. Aishwarya means all wealth. Virya means all strength. Yash means all fame. We people also have these opulences, but the quantity in which we possess them, that is very limited. We might be having a certain amount in our bank balance, but that will be limited. None of us can claim, even the richest fellow on this planet, he cannot claim that all the wealth in everybody's bank balance is mine. No. The wealth belonging to him is only that which is in his bank balance, right? So, yes. But Krishna, he can put a claim on all wealth, similarly all strength, all fame, all knowledge, like that. So, and because Krishna is supreme, he is glorified by many wonderful verses, wonderful poetry. Because of this reason, Krishna has a name called Uttama Shloka. Uttama Shloka means that person who is glorified by choiced poetry, who is glorified by very unique, specialized poetry. This term Uttama Shloka comes in one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Ayur harati vaipam sam udyan astanchayan naso tasyarte yachano nita uttama shloka vartaya taravah kim na jivanti bhastra kim na shvasantyuta na khadanti na mehanti kim grame pashavau parai shvavidavaraha ushtrakharahi samstutah purushah pashu na yat karnapathopeto jatu rama gadagrajah bilevato rukrama vikramanaye Na Shrinavataha Karnapute Narasya. Like this. There's a very wonderful series of verses which comes in the 3rd chapter of the 2nd canto. Heavy verses. Why heavy? Like a few verses. Because a few verses, like the last verse which I was reciting. Bile bator ukrama vikramaniye na shrinavataha karnapute narasya. Those ears which do not hear the katha of Lord Hari, they are like snake holes. Similarly, next verse, Bhara param patta kirita justam apyuttamangam nanamen mukundam shavau karo no gurute saparyam harer lasat kanchana kankanava. This is saying, Bhara param patta kirita justam, that head which does not bow down in front of Krishna. Na namen mukundam. Namen means to Namaha means to bow down, to offer obeisances, to offer pranams, to offer respects. That head which cannot bow down in front of Lord Mukunda. Mukunda is the name of Krishna which has two meanings. One is that person whose face is like the kunda flower, and another meaning is the provider of mukti or liberation. So, those heads which cannot bow down in front of Lord Mukunda, they are like a heavy burden, even if they are decorated by a nice turban. So like this. Then the second half of this verse is Shavo Karono Kurute Saparyam. Those hands which do not engage in the service of Krishna, they are like hands of a dead body, even if they are decorated with golden bangles. So heavy. So yeah, the verse with which we started was Ayur Harati Vai Pumsam Udyan Astan Chayannaso. With the rising and setting of sun, everybody's age is decreasing. The sun has this ability to steal people's duration of life, because sun has this characteristic. One name of sun is Hari, Hari. This term Hari comes from a root Sanskrit word Hri, which means to steal. So because sun steals away people's duration of life, it is called Hari. So with the rising and setting of sun, everybody's age is being taken away. Duration of life is reducing. But those who are engaging in the discussions of Lord Uttama Shloka, this is not happening with them. Their age is not decreasing. Their duration of life is not diminishing, because they are preparing for their eternal life, next life, which will be in the transcendental abode. And this term Hari is also a name of Krishna. What's the verse? 2.1.5. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichchata Bhayam. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma. O Bharata, O Parikshit, engage in the Shrotavya, in the hearing, Kirtitavyaha, in the kirtan of that Bhagavan, that Ishwar, who is also called Hari. Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari. Why is Krishna called Hari? The term Hari can have many meanings. Hari Shabde Nana Arthe Dui Mukhya Tama Sarva Mangal Hare Prema Hare Diya Mana. Hari Shabde Nana Arthe Dui Mukhya Tama. The term Hari can have multiple meanings. For example, one meaning is lion. Lord Narsingha is called Nar Hari. Nar means man and Hari means lion. He's a combination. He is half man, half lion. So one of the meanings of the term Hari can be lion. Another meaning of Hari can be green, greenish in color. So Hari Shabde Nana Arthe. The term Hari can have multiple meanings. Dui Mukhya Tama. But two of them are primary. Which two? Sarva Amangala Hare. Krishna, he is called Hari because he takes away all inauspiciousness. And Prema Diya Hare Mana. And he can captivate our heart. So somebody, after listening to this verse, might ask, oh, Krishna, he takes away our inauspiciousness and he takes away our heart. So does Krishna know only how to take things, or does he give something back in return? Yes, he does give. What does he give? Prema. Prema diya hare mana. He takes away these two things, but in return he gives his own loving devotional service. So tasmad bharata sarva. This verse is amongst the very first verses which Shukdev Goswami speaks in Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukdev Goswami spoke all this because Parikshit, he was in a dilemma. He was confused. He was bewildered. He was cursed by a Brahmana, as I was telling, to die within 7 days. So when he came across Shukdev Goswami, he asked 2 questions. Ataha pritchami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum purushasyeha yat karyam mriyamanasya sarvatha. O Shukdev Goswami, what is the duty of a human being in general and a dying man in specific? These 2 questions. Upon hearing this, Shukdev Goswami was in ecstasy. He was like, what a question! Glorious question. Varyaneshate prashnaha krito loka hitam nripa atmavit sammatah pumsam shrota vyadishu yah paraha. Shukdev Goswami was in so much ecstasy that he forgot to even do the Mangalacharan, the prayers for auspiciousness, invoking auspiciousness. Before beginning this Bhagavad Gita class, we did the Mangalacharan prayers, right? Om Ajnana Timirandhasya, like that. Shukdev Goswami forgot to recite the Mangalacharan prayers is so important, so absolutely important, that when in the first canto, 7th chapter, Ashwathama had released a Brahmastra to kill Parikshit within the womb of Uttara. At that time, Uttara called out, Pahi Pahi, oh Pahi Pahi Mahayogin, Deva Deva Jagatpate, oh Krishna, please help, I need you. So at that time, Arjuna, he started offering some prayers to Krishna. But let's say, so Parikshit is the grandson of Arjuna. Let's say our grandson, our family member is in trouble. So we have to come to Radha Gokulananda. What we'll do, we'll say, right, oh, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda, help out, I need you, please help. We'll not do Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalaka. We'll not do all this, right? We'll straight come to the point. But Arjuna, there also he starts with the glorification of Krishna. He starts with the Mangalacharan prayers. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, I think text 26, that this is the right etiquette. Arjuna did the right thing. So, doing Mangalacharan prayers is so important, so very important. But Shukdev Goswami, he was so ecstatic by this question of Parikshit that he forgot the Mangalacharan prayers altogether. He remembered that in the 4th chapter of the 2nd canto. In the 4th chapter, there are back-to-back verses. Like one of them is, Yad Kirtanam, Yad Smaranam, Yad Ikshanam, Yad Vandanam, Yad Shravanam, Yad Arhanam, Lokasya Sadyo Vidhunoti Kalmasham, Tasmai Subhadra Shavase Namo Namaha. I offer my pranams to that Lord. The process of doing Kirtan, doing Darshan, doing Shravana, doing Smarana, about whom makes everything Tasmai Subhadra Shavase Namo Namaha. It transforms everything into Subhadra. Bhadra means auspicious. When the prefix Su is added, it means extremely auspicious. So my pranams unto that Lord by the process of chanting, hearing about whom transforms everything into extremely auspicious things. One more verse is there. How does it start? Tapasvino dana parayashasvino manasvino mantravidaha sumangalaha shemam na vindanti vinaya darpanam tas. Oh, sorry, Madhya, I didn't see you. So, yeah, like this another verse. What was I saying? No. Yeah, so he had forgotten to do the Mangalacharan, so all these verses in the 4th chapter, yeah, Kirata Honandra, Pulinda Pulkusha, that one also. So, sorry, I lost my thread. Yeah, so he was ecstatic that, what a question. Varyanesha te prashnaha krito loka hitam nripa atmavid sammatah pumsam shrotavyadishu yah paraha. That, what a question. Varyanesha te prashnaha. Why? Because it has 3 characteristics. One is atmavid sammatah. It is approved by all transcendentalists. Second, that it is lokahitam, it is beneficial to all human beings. And third, it is the supreme subject matter for hearing. Then he's saying, why? Why this is the supreme subject matter for hearing? Because people in general, they have hundreds and thousands of topics to talk and discuss about. Shrodavyadini Rajendra Nirnam Santi Sahasrashaha अपश्यताम आत्मतत्वम गृहेषु गृहमेधिनाम श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की श्री श्री सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्रोतव्यादिनी राजेंद्र नृणाम संति सहस्रशः. People have sahasra, hundreds and thousands of topics to talk about. Oh, who's winning the IPL? Oh, which government is there in power? What is the rate of tomatoes outside? Sorry. You okay? So yes, people have hundreds and thousands of topics to discuss and talk about, but they don't talk about Krishna, they don't talk about such questions regarding their supreme welfare, regarding their duty, because apashyatam atma tattvam, they are blind towards atma tattva, towards self-realization. And this is because griheshu grihamedhinam, because they are engrossed, too engrossed in the family life. What kind of activities makes a person engrossed in the family life? Next verse. Nidraya hriyate naktam yavayena cha vavayah devacharte haya rajan kutumba bharanena va. 2 activities at the night time and 2 activities in daytime. Nidraya, sleep at night time, and second, sex life. A person is busy doing these 2 things at night, and during the daytime, kutumba bharanena va, maintaining the family, and second, earning a livelihood. So therefore, the person just does not have time. And because of this, what happens? Deha apatya kalatradishu atmasainyesha satsvapi tesham pramatto nidhanam pashyan api na pashyati. Deha apatya kalatra adishu. A person thinks that my deha, my body, my apatya and my kalatra, my wife and my kids, my offsprings, they will protect me. Person thinks that they will be my soldiers. But the unfortunate thing is that these are fallible soldiers. Let's say a king is heading out for a fight, and it is sure that his army is going to be destroyed. Then no intelligent king will take such an army with him, right? Somebody who is in a sane state of mind, he will take those people with him who have at least some probability of winning, right? So, yes. So, we people, what we do? We depend on fallible soldiers. Who are those fallible soldiers? Our body and our family. Apashyatam atma tattvam. And a person, in spite of knowing all this, does not see, does not, apashyatam atma tattvam, no, deha patya kalatradisha, tesham pramatto nidharam, pashyan api na pashyati. Although he is sufficiently experienced, still he is not able to see his inevitable destruction. And therefore, what should be done? So now comes that verse which I was talking about. Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichhata Bhayam. Therefore, O Bharata, Bharat is the name of King Parikshit because he was born in Bharat dynasty, just like Dashrath was the father of Lord Ramachandra. Lord Ram, being the son of Dashrath, his name was Dashrathi. Similarly, Vyasadeva, because he was the father of Shukdev, Shukdev Goswami's name was Vaiyasaki. And Vyasadev's another name was Badarayana, because he was a resident of the Badrika ashram. Because he was Badarayana, his son Shukdev was Badarayani. Krishna's father was Vasudeva. Therefore, Krishna's name was Vasudeva. So similarly, Bharat, because Parikshit was born in the Bharat Maharaj dynasty, therefore his name was Bharat. Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari. What you should do? Unto that Lord whose name is Hari, what you should do? Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichhata Bhayam. If you have Ichha to obtain Abhay, if you are desirous of attaining fearlessness, so you should do Shrotavyaha. You should hear about Krishna. You should Kirtitavyaha. You should chant about Krishna. And Smartavyaha. You should remember about Krishna. Shrotavyaha. To hear about Krishna. It is so powerful that Rukmini, the first wife of Krishna, she simply used to hear from Narad Muni. She had never seen Krishna, but just by that simple process of hearing, she became so attached, so very attached to Krishna that she was fully determined that I'll marry only Krishna. She wrote a very wonderful love letter. Chapter number, I think 52. Of 10th canto. Yeah, 52nd chapter. Rukmini's message to Lord Krishna. She composed amazing, I think 7 or 8 verses. Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shanavatam te nirvishya karna vivarer harato angatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labham tvai achyuta vishati chitram apatrapam me yasyangri pankajaraja snapanam mahanto vanchantyam. Like that. Amazing verses. So it is, once one of my seniors had given a very powerful class on this. So I'm very fond of this chapter. It is said this is the only chapter which a brahmachari or brahmacharini can. It is the only love letter which a brahmachari or brahmacharini can read, So amazing. So yes, so this is the power of hearing. You are fully determined. All I want is Krishna. So Shrotavyaha. And then Kirtitavyaha, chanting about Krishna. And chanting can be done in 2 ways. One is japa, meditation, and second is with instruments, with music. So, and yes, it's good that if we take a minimum vow, we fix up a number that, okay, every day I'll chant these many number of rounds. Sometimes people think or people say that quantity is not so important. Prabhuji, quality should be there. No, even the perfected beings, in our disciplic succession, there are 6 personalities. They are called Shad Goswamis, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. They were very elevated personalities in the spiritual world. They were very intimate associates of Krishna. But what they used to do, Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibhi Kalavasani Krito. They used to do Sankhya Purvaka with a fixed number. The verse does not say quality Purvaka Nama Gana Natibhi. Right? So both are important, quality and quantity. How quantity is important? Let's say we have to purchase a plant. Let's say we have to purchase a tulsi plant. and we have two options. Two nurseries are available. One nursery has only one plant available. Nursery 2 has 100 plants. Where will we go? We'll go to that nursery which has 100 plants, right? Why? Because the more the number, the higher the probability of better quality. So quality and quantity go hand in hand. Both are equally important. So yes, we should fix up a number. Fixing up a number is like giving a commitment to Krishna. It's like being bound in a relationship with Krishna. So yes, if we, just like here in this world also, any relationship, any marriage ceremony, any relationship between a man and woman becomes long-lasting when there is commitment, when a vow is taken, right? And in that committed relationship, there will be no doubt. Challenges will be there, difficulties will be there, tough times will be there. Every day will not be a honeymoon, right? Every day, romance will not be there. In the beginning, there will be some touching. In the beginning, there will be some embracing. There will be some kissing. But how long will this go on? This cannot happen every day. So, yes. So what carries on a relationship, what makes a relationship long-lasting is a commitment. So yes, those people who enter into a married relationship for fun, their life becomes very funny very soon. So yeah, it is said if you want fun for 1 hour, go off to sleep, have some rest. You will wake up relaxed, you'll have a good time, you'll be happy. If you want fun for 1 day, go out on a picnic, spend some time in nature, amidst the trees, the plants, and yeah, you'll have a good time, you'll be happy. And if you want fun for 1 month, get married. How long will the romance excite us? So yes, so some commitment is required, compromise is required. Similarly, with Krishna also, when we will chant, we might have some tough time, our mind might trouble us, we might be bothered by n number of thoughts, doubts, but we should stick to it. So that is what will carry forward our relationship with Krishna. So this is Kirtitavyaha and then Smartavyaha. Smartavyaha, Smaran or remembrance of Krishna is what carries, is something which ties all the limbs, all the elements of devotional service, all the elements of bhakti, all the elements of spirituality together. What's that verse? Smartavya satam Vishnu vismartavya na jatuchit sarve vidhi nishedasyor etayoreva kinkaraha. Always remembering Krishna and never forgetting Him. All other rules and regulations are a servant of this particular principle. So we get up early in the morning, why? To remember Krishna. We take a bath, why? To remember Krishna. We come to the temple to have the darshan of the deities, why? To remember Krishna. We go to the holy Dham, Dham Vas, why? To remember Krishna. We read scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, why? To remember Krishna. We associate with Vaishnavas, with devotees, with the exalted personalities in spiritual line, why? To remember Krishna. So this Smaran is something that deepens our relationship with Krishna. Sometimes because we are in a preaching movement, people, they forget to work upon this. They are too busy sharing the message of Krishna consciousness with others. This is required. This is needed. Preaching is very much needed, but we should remember, good preaching is the one which is done to the new people. If there are some new people in the temple, we can speak something, we can answer their questions, we can address their doubts. So good preaching is that which is done to the new people. Better preaching is that which is done to the experienced or existing devotees. if this room is filled with people who have 15 years of experience in Krishna consciousness, how many of us can give an impromptu class? Not many of us, right? So why? Because that is difficult. So therefore, better preaching is that which is done to the existing devotees. And best preaching is that which is done to oneself. So, yes, we can preach to ourselves by remembering Krishna, by working upon ourselves internally. It's good to have some external projects, external goals, but we should also have some internal goals simultaneously. The world, no doubt, needs preachers. The world needs those who have the answers. But more than that, the world needs those who are the answers, right? So, yeah. So if we do Smaran, we'll become an example for the world to follow. And that was mostly it from me. Any comments, thoughts, questions? All right, thank you. Oh, sorry. How do you know you were not there? Okay. Sorry. So Karma Yoga is the first ladder in first step in the yogic ladder. So Karma Yoga means we perform the actions which we are supposed to do or which we have to do or which we want to do, and we offer the result. Bhakti Yoga means the activity is defined by Krishna, what Krishna wants me to do, and I execute it. So we cannot attain Krishna without Bhakti Yoga. Karma Yoga cannot make us reach Krishna's world. For example, if somebody is a student, so his studies, no matter what, his studies can never become equal to DT worship. DT worship is Bhakti Yoga, chanting Hare Krishna is Bhakti Yoga, because this I'm doing only and only for the sake of Krishna. DT worship, chanting Hare Krishna, reading Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavad Gita. So this can never become equal. But because we have to survive in this world, we have to maintain the body. We are not this body, but we are in this body. So we have to maintain it. Therefore, what we have to do? We have to do our prescribed duty. So therefore, as much as possible, we should do Bhakti Yoga. And the karma which we are supposed to do should at least be transformed into Karma Yoga. Because Karma Yoga is not the highest thing, doesn't mean that I don't even transform my karma into Karma Yoga. That is not a very good idea. Sometimes even some preachers, they preach this. Nothing happens by scoring good marks. Nothing happens by smashing it professionally in your career. No, this is not the right thing. We should smash it. It should not happen that spiritually we are scholars and professionally we are beggars. If that happens, we'll be known as a society of losers. Very wonderful example was said by Roop and Sanatan. They were high-ranking ministers in the state of Bengal. That time, India was known as Sone ki Chidiya, the golden bird. So these guys, these devotees, they were Lavanga Manjari and Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world, very intimate associates of Krishna. But here, because they knew Krishna consciousness begins by becoming dutiful, so they were very, very dutiful. It's not that they were workaholic, so we should work for 8 hours, but within those 8 hours, we should be very, very hardworking. If we don't do that, then those habits of escapism will be reflected even here, even in the spiritual circles. If somebody will be allotted a service, then that fellow will give arguments. Prabhuji, I'm having stomach ache. Prabhuji, headache. Prabhuji, body ache. So why? What was the root? When was the seed sown of such habits? During the time of the person's karma. So we should smash it professionally. And these Rupa and Sanatan, their salary was not much, only 800,000 per annum, 800K per year. Is it too much or too less? Too much, right? Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. It was not 800,000 pounds per annum. It was 800,000 gold coins per annum. Just imagine. We people go to receive our paycheck. We people go to our office. We take a car, we take a tube, or we take a bus. We go to our office, receive our paycheck. Rupa and Sanatan also used to go, but not to the office, to the river, because their salary used to come in a boat. So, we should smash it. And so karma should be transformed into karma yoga as long as we are bound to do it. And once we can get free of it, then we should try to execute Bhakti Yoga 24/7. Does that help? Yeah. Yeah, so a Ghostanandi, okay, these two terms which have been used here. One is Bhajananandi means who does only bhajan. He will make a small cottage, chant Hare Krishna, be by himself, remembering Krishna 24/7, or at least he'll try to be. And Ghostanandi means one who preaches Krishna consciousness. But one misconception is people forget that he does his own bhajan as well. Alright? So that is one thing. And for somebody who is on the Uttam Adhikari platform, for him this act of preaching is this service of preaching, this is also for the pleasure of Krishna. So I'm doing this as a commitment to Krishna, because Krishna wants all the living entities to come back. So this is also a part of his sadhana. So it's not that he's seeing, oh, stupid fellow, oh, fallen conditioned souls, I'm a Mahabhagavat, I'm here to deliver them. No, that's not the mindset. So therefore that's also part of sadhana. So he remembers that during this preaching process, the first person who will become Krishna conscious is me, myself. Right. So, I think it's time we should stop here. Rantara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. We'll have Gaur Aarti in 2 minutes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Gokala Nanda, Radha Gokala Nanda, Radha Gokala Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya, if you can all stand for the Aarti, it'd be very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Jai Pay the Madranga. Jaya Sita Rama Lakshman Hanuman 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 Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Shri Shri Radha Gokananda ki Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki Gaunitai ki Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaur Pranande Ki Bajayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati ka shobha ki bajayo jayo gaura chande Arati ka shobha ki bajayo jayo gaura chande Arati ka shobha ki bajayo jayo Jahanavi tatavane Jagamanalobha Jahanavi tata Jagamanalobha Jahanavi tatavane Jagamanalobha Jana Jidakhe Ninitai Chan Bame Gadadara Dakhe Dakhe Ninitai Chan Bame Gadadara Dakhe Nikate Advaita Shrini Vasa Chatradara Nika Nikate Advaita Shrini Vasa Chatradara Nika Jibo se ache gaurachan Ratna simhasane bose ache gaurachan Ratna simhasane Jibo se ache gaurachan रत्न सिंहासने बसे আছে গৌরচা আরতি করে না ব্রহ্মা আদি দেবগানে আরতি করে না ব্রহ্মা আদি দেবগানে আরতি করে না জিনারা রে আদি করে চামর দুলায়া নারা রে আদি করে চামর দুলায়া জিনারা রে আদি করে চামর দুলায়া নারা संजया मुकुंड बासु घोषादिगाया संजया संजया मुकुंद बासु घोषादिगाया संजय शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला शंका जी शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे करताला माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाला माधुरा माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाला माधुरा शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Jiba Kote Chandra Jine Vadana Ujwala Bahu Kote Chandra Jine Vadana Ujwala Jibaho Kote Chandra Jine Vadana Ujwala Bahu Gala de se banamala Kore jalamala Gala de se banamala Kore jalamala Gala de se banamala Kore jalamala Gala de sevana Jishiva Sukha Nararara Preme Gadagara Shiva Sukha Nararara Preme Gadagara Shiva Sukha Nararara Preme Gadagara Shiva Sukha Nararara Preme Gadagara Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gora Rasa Sampada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gora Rasa Sampada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gora Rasa Sampada Bhakti Gaurangi Aratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba Gaurangi Aratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba Gaurangi Jaga Jana Mana Loba Jaga Jana Mana Loba Jaga Jana Mana Loba Jaga Jana Mana Loba Gaurange Aratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba Gaurange Aratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba Jaga Janamana Loba Jaga Janamana Loba Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nittai Gauranga, Nittai Gauranga, Nittai Gauranga, Nittai Gauranga, Nittai, 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 Nittai Gauranga, Nittai, Nittai. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare Gaura 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 Hare Gaura 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 Hare Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashatya Desatarine Namaste Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare Bolo Bolo Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Bolo bolo, Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jaya Radha Gokal Nanda, Radha Gokal Nanda, Radha Gokal Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Rama Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Rama Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya. Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me, Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. नयन पथगामी भवतु मे नयन पथगामी भवतु मे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा 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 जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे 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 जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय प्रभुपा 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 जय जय प्रभुपा जय जय प्रभुपा 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 जय जय प्रभुपा नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि
जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So now we will have our Narasingha Bhagavan prayer. It is on the board, so you can follow very easily. Haribol. Where are you from?
Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadadayine. Hiranyakashipurvakshah Shilatankanakalaye Ito Nrsimho Parato Nrsimho Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimho Pahe Nrsimho Hridaye Nrsimho Narasinghammadim Sharanam Prapadye Tava Karakamalabhare Nakha Adbhuta Chenga Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavarita Arahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimhadev, 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 Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. So now we're going to have kirtan. We'll continue here in the temple room. And the next arti will be 9 p.m. and there's also Mahaprasadam being served in the reception.